Your inner resonance. I even forgot what the name of it was now. Of the video. Liz, I'm not gonna wrestle and scam with it. You know what I mean? Let's get to it. We have it. It's still here. We're gonna do the rest of it. I know we're starting off. I think it was part 4 in the video. So let's go. Let's get so part 4, and it's how to reshape the reality within. So this is number 2 on that for me. The observer in their name, the observer breath, how to shape the reality within. Let's get started. For building the inner temple. This should be interesting, you guys. Through breath, building your inner temple through breath.
Close your eyes and feel your body from within. Not as an image, not as a story, but as sensation, vibration, breath. You are not in a room. You are in a temple. And that temple is you. The ancients knew this. They built temples of stone to mirror the ones of spirit. Structures of sacred proportion, not to house gods, but to reflect the symmetry of the soul. And the entrance to this inner temple is breath. Most people drift through life disconnected from their bodies. They live in the attic of the mind, analyzing, worrying, projecting, but rarely descend into the deep halls of their being. The breath brings you down into sensation, into presence, into your inner architecture. With every inhale, awareness descends. With every exhale, tension is released. And little by little, you re-inhabit yourself. This is embodiment, not just occupying a body, but becoming conscious within it. And this too is sacred. The breath doesn't just anchor attention, it sculpts it. Each conscious breath is a brick in the temple. Each pause, a window to the divine. Each moment of presence, a beam of light through the inner dome. You begin to notice there are chambers within you, layers of energy, points of tension that once seemed normal, now reveal their weight. Where is your breath blocked? Where is it tight? Where does it stop? And why? Your breath reveals your biography. It shows where you clench against life, where you hold old grief, where you've armored your heart to feel safe. But it also shows the path through. To build the inner temple is not to fight the mind. It is to create space inside yourself that's stronger than its noise. You don't need to silence the storm. You need to become the ground beneath it. And breath is how you dig, deeper than thought, deeper than emotion, into that sacred core that remembers your wholeness. The more you breathe with awareness, the more coherent your field becomes. Your energy stabilizes, your nervous system recalibrates. Your mind, once scattered, begins to orbit something still, silent, and radiant at the center. That center is your temple. The inner temple is not metaphor, it's structure. It has geometry, tone, magnetism. The Egyptians mapped it in the body as energy centers, as inner pyramids, as resonant frequencies tied to breath. The breath rises like the Nile, moving through sacred channels, clearing, nourishing, awakening. And with each cycle, you open doors inside yourself that were long sealed.
Yes,
Rooms
seals.
where lost fragments of you
seals.
are waiting,
Book of Revelation,
not to be
3rd chapter.
judged, but to be witnessed and reintegrated. You are not trying to be perfect. You are reclaiming wholeness, and breath is the key. When your awareness fully returns to the body, you begin to feel truth, not as a concept, as a current, as coherence in your field. This is why ancient initiates could feel lies without proof.
Yes.
Why they trusted instinct over argument. Because their temple was active, their breath was deep, and their awareness was anchored. This anchoring makes you unshakable. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you feel everything, but from a place that does not fragment. The breath gives you this capacity. It builds your inner space, breath by breath, until presence becomes your home. Now ask yourself, when you walk through the world, are you breathing? Are you anchored? Or are you reacting, projecting, escaping? Most suffering arises from forgetting this temple, from abandoning the body and drifting into mind's illusion. But the temple is always there, waiting, alive, sacred. You only have to return. And breath is the path. Each inhale, a call inward. Each exhale, a cleansing. Each pause, a throne of stillness. Build it, live in it, and from it, breathe
Building that
the world
temple
anew.
within.
Part.
There's one simple bedtime trick anyone can use to electrify their pineal gland and unleash true prosperity. Did you know that your pineal gland's inability to connect with the universe stems from one single root cause? You may know about your pineal gland's power, but what nobody tells you is that the real reason you can't manifest has nothing to do with how much you meditate or how many affirmations you say. A recent study from Stanford Research Institute found that toxic fluoride deposits are literally
Wow.
What if every breath you took didn't just move through your body, but through the fabric of reality itself? What if breath was not just a function, but a frequency generator? You've heard it before. Everything is energy. But that energy isn't random. It follows patterns. It responds to coherence. It organizes itself around vibration. And your breath is your vibration made visible. When you breathe unconsciously, shallow, chaotic, stressed, your field becomes fragmented. You leak energy. Your thoughts become noisy. Your emotions unpredictable. But when you breathe with intention, your field begins to harmonize, not only inside you, but around you. This is the breath field, an invisible atmosphere, an energetic aura shaped and sustained by the quality of your breath. It's not fantasy, it's physics and subtle biology. The heart has an electromagnetic field measurable meters from the body. The breath rhythm influences that field instantly, and that field communicates with the environment quietly, constantly, without words. You're always transmitting. The question is, what frequency are you breathing into the world? When your breath is steady, deep, and aware, you emit a field of coherence, and coherence magnetizes. It draws people in. It calms nervous systems. It shifts tension without effort. It bends reality without noise. This is not manipulation. It's resonance. You don't force anything. You become a frequency reality wants to respond to. And it does. Situations begin to align. The right conversations open, obstacles soften, and your life starts to mirror the calm precision you carry within. Your breath teaches the field how to treat you. It's not about control. It's about alignment. When you breathe in fear, the world reflects fear. When you breathe in presence, the world meets you in presence. This is how reality becomes personal, not because it targets you, but because it matches you. You are not separate from your environment.
Yes.
You are entangled with it. And breath is the thread. When you shift your breathing, you shift the lens through which reality forms.
Cosmic
Your perception
entanglement.
changes. Your reactions change. And with them, the very shape of your experience. Think of your field like water. Chaotic breath creates ripples, waves, distortion. Coherent breath stills the surface. And when it's still, it reflects clearly. This is why deep breathing brings clarity, not just cognitively, energetically. When your field stabilizes, it becomes a mirror. And in that mirror, you begin to see truth,
There's your mirror
not
holographic
ideas.
reality, folks.
Essence. You recognize what's aligned and what's not. You sense the false before it speaks. You feel what's right before it proves itself. This is the breath field in action. It doesn't just react, it knows. But here's the mystery most miss. The field doesn't give you what you breathe. It amplifies it, which means
Coherence.
breathing with fear doesn't remove fear, it deepens it. Breathing with presence expands presence. Breathing with gratitude opens flow. Breathing with resistance locks energy. So the question is not just how do you breathe? It's what state do you breathe into the field? And are you doing it from awareness or habit? Because the field remembers. It stores patterns. It responds not to your words, but to your inner signal, which is encoded in every cycle of breath. Now pause. Feel your breath. Feel its texture, its rhythm, its honesty. You cannot fake breath. You cannot pretend with the field. It knows. But that's not a threat. It's liberation. Because the moment you become aware, you become free. Free to choose. Free to shift. Free to breathe a different frequency into your life. You don't need more affirmations. You need more coherence, more felt alignment. And breath is how you access it.
You said it magnifies.
You are not just a body breathing
heart.
air. You are a field breathing meaning into form. Each inhale, I receive. Each exhale, I shape. Each pause, I align. Master this rhythm, and your life no longer feels random. It becomes a living expression of your chosen frequency. Breathe like it matters. Because it does, everything responds.
Hi, my name is Tami, and I would
Powerful.
like to give you a few reasons why you should consider dating a young
But
Darn commercials trying to sell me
You've
wives
traveled
all over.
far.
Look at this one.
without ever leaving your seat,
All over the place.
not across lands, but across layers of yourself, through rhythm, silence, observation. And now you return, not to who you were, but to who you've always been, beneath the noise. The breath brought you here, and now it reveals the final truth. Stillness is not the absence of power. Stillness is power. The world teaches you to act, to chase, fix, strive, to be loud, to be heard, to be fast, to stay ahead. But the field does not follow noise. It follows coherence.
Yes.
And coherence begins in stillness. Not the stillness of passivity, but the living stillness that watches, feels, and chooses from depth. This is the stillness of the mountain, the stillness of the eye of the storm, the stillness of one who has remembered the breath, and with it, their center. In this stillness, something profound becomes clear. You were never meant to control the outer world. You were meant to hold the inner field so clearly, so steadily, that the outer begins to rearrange itself in response. This is not magic. It's alignment. It's resonance. It's the mechanics of a conscious universe. Your breath is the tuning fork, and your awareness, the silent architect. Sit now, not to do, to be. Let the breath rise, fall, pause. Let your awareness rest in that rhythm, not pushing, not expecting, just watching. And notice how this simple act changes everything. Your nervous system softens, your mind unknots, your body opens, and what returns is you, not the one performing, not the one protecting, the one who watches, the one who knows,
The
the
observer.
observer.
Yeah.
From this place, even the most ordinary act becomes sacred. Drinking water, walking through your door, speaking a word. Because now you're not acting from habit, you're acting from center, from signal, from stillness. This is presence. It doesn't seek, it radiates. It doesn't chase outcomes. It aligns with reality as it is and moves from there. Stillness is not withdrawal. It is mastery, the power to be unmoved by distortion, to sense the deeper currents beneath appearances, to wait without tension, to act without fear. And breath is how you return to it every time, not once, not only in meditation, but in life, in movement, in uncertainty, because the breath is always with you, and through it, so is the field. There will be moments when the world pulls you away, when emotion clouds the lens, when thoughts spiral. In those moments,
Yes.
remember, the shortest path home is breath. One conscious inhale, one surrendering exhale, one sacred pause, and you're back. Not back to comfort, but back to clarity. Because clarity is not the absence of challenge, it's the presence of awareness within it. Now, as you leave this space, take this rhythm with you. Let your breath be your compass. Let stillness be your throne. Let awareness walk with you in every word, every choice, every pause. The breath does not change life for you. It changes how you meet it. And when how you meet it changes, life responds. This is how reality bends, not from force, from presence. And presence begins with breath. So breathe, not to survive, to remember, not to escape, to embody, not to control, to create. The breath is the key. You are the door. Step through.
This is so powerful. It really is. This is very, very, very powerful. And yeah, very, very, very powerful. To the point where when you really look at it, it's empowering for us, right? To recognize, like he had said earlier in yesterday, this was part of what the mystics and sages would say, knowing yourself in the mystery schools of Egypt. And I had heard the word is that above the doors in the mystery schools in Egypt, it was above it would say, know thyself. It makes sense when you're going through the mystery schools. But the breath, and I know many of us who came from Abrahamic religions, and even may know that the word breath in the Old Testament actually means spirit means breath, right? I don't know if you knew that. Some of you probably do. Most of you do. But think about this. This breath is so powerful that when you start mastering it, you're starting to see and experiencing the aspects of everything he said you can experience within the breathing aspects of yourself. And it was really just learning how to hold, breathe out, hold 5 seconds, and then just, you don't have to take on this big, just that, take it slowly in. That will take away all the thoughts that try to cloud your mind when you go and meditate, because you know those thoughts come into like a movie reel. You just want to play and play a tape recorder and play. Your power is into the rebooting and into the changing of frequency, is learning how to breathe. And staying into the breathing, it was an initiation that he spoke of. And I thought about it when we were all come out of mama's womb, right? And they said, the doctor said, well, is the baby born yet? What's they do? Pop on the butt. The scream let them know that you were doing something that was natural. we got away from it. We start breathing wrong. We start chest breathing, breathing in fear, like he mentioned in the first video, that it became natural to a baby to breathe. Natural. Didn't have to learn it, didn't have to remember it, didn't have to be taught it. And here we are, adults, having to be taught it again. Why? Because the forgetfulness of the amnesia coming to the physical plane, we forget who, whence, hence, and who we are, where we came from, whence, and who we are. We just kind of start looking at this, and we get the programs ran on us that really take us out of our ballpark of who we are and what we are. We get all these programs ran on us from school, to parents, to education, definitely with school, to programming systems or schools. Let's just be honest. If you don't know that, you need to learn that. It's kind of old information found out. And I thought it was powerful because it was initiation to yourself, that by learning to breathe, the activation. I also knew for me, it was a rebooting tool when you were in places that maybe you were reacting, overreacting. I'm talking about me, that I would have to go into. I knew when I went into, some deep breathing aspects of it. But this video, which this would be the third time I watched the last 2 days, watching part 1, part 2, which I recorded one after another. And then yesterday I watched it, and then I watched it with my wife today. We were really watching it, and she was honing in on breathing and meditating with it. And she thought it was very, and I thought this was very, especially for new ones, and even ones that just getting rebooted back to remembering why, and hence you deep breathe as you learn how to meditate, in all the negativity of your mind wanting to play the victim and your mind wanting to talk and interrupt you in meditation. Breathing and holding the breath for 5 seconds will knock that away. And now it's not that you don't see the thoughts. You learn not to participate because you just let them roll down like a boat. You're on a boat trip, you're catching a cruise, and you realize, oh, that first cruise is not mine. It's sailing away by. That represents the thoughts you don't have to take on anymore. You don't have to take on those negative thoughts anymore because you've got into spaces and places, and the rebuilding of yourself at the temple. Powerful 32 minutes. It's called the Sons of Ra, the channel, and it has some other interesting stuff that I noticed and looked at that I'm going to look at and may share again on my channel. But I thought this went hand in hand of what we're doing, why it's so important to know that we're creators within the quantum field. But there's an aspect of learning how to build. You just don't like, well, it is. Because I notice a lot of people like to bypass in the conscious community through time, the people I met, or, oh, I did that work, and they ain't touched the hem of it yet like they should. I was in that place. But there's work to do by letting come. It's really connecting to nature. And once you connect it back into nature in your meditation, guess what you're not doing? You're not working. It's becoming nature. Like a child baby, you don't have to teach your baby how to breathe, but you do have to teach your baby how to eat. Not suck the nipple, but how to eat with their hands when they start eating table food. What else you need to teach your baby? You got to help them learn how to talk, walk, right? You got to teach them how to learn how to walk. And what else? Think about that. You got to teach them how to learn to walk, talk, stand, walk, stand before they walk, crawl even. That comes a little bit more natural. They start scooting, and then they start scooting, and then they start crawling, right? I'm going to crawl. And then, but you don't teach them how to breathe. They know that, hence where they came from, because they know spirit, because they haven't been from it as long as you have. If you have any youngsters, they've been in the space to remember some things that you're going to teach them to forget spiritually. We all did it. We all received it. We all went through it as children by the program. Our parents didn't know, and their parents didn't know, and their parents didn't know, and then their parents didn't know that we were programmed. And the programs got in even to deeper programming as the years went and got with the so-called folks here that are want to master a role, want to find out new ways to program, and then the first word the lambs before the slaughter. That's another scripture I thought about. Leading you like lambs before the slaughter. But that's another thought. We'll go back into the deep breathing. Powerful video. I think it's very needed. I think it's very good. And it's something to apply. I will watch this again to myself, and even watch it and pause it and breathe. But the key is breathe. You don't have to breathe like, you can go just slowly. I didn't let out like, I even let it out really slowly. I'm open to doing some meditation here on this channel and going over this stuff for some of the newbies if wanted to or if need to be. But you guys have a great day. This is part 2. You guys have a great day.